go. Hi, welcome to my channel, Quilt to My Heart. If you're new here, my name's Melissa, and I'm so glad that you've joined me here in my sewing room, in my quilting space today, to talk about things quilty. And yeah, I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. I hope that you're just moving into the holiday season and that you're being blessed and everything is going well in your life. We had a good time on Thanksgiving. We had family and just had a good time. Just enjoyed the food, the fellowship, and all the fun that comes from having family over. And I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving, and we're here today, and I am sick today. So, actually right before Thanksgiving, I got this, I don't know what you call it, kind of like crud, like a chest, bronchial, irritation stuff. And so I had that through Thanksgiving, and I thought that I was getting some better, but Thanksgiving night, we decided to build a big fire. I have a bunch of people in my family that love to sit around campfires. So we went outside and built a campfire. It was pretty cold that night, and we went outside and built up a fire and sat around the campfire, and we roasted some marshmallows and stuff like that. And I got really cold, and I think that really brought back this sickness a little bit stronger than I had it to begin with. But I'm beginning to feel a little bit better. I'm started taking some antibiotics, so I'm getting over it just a little bit. Back on here today to share with you. So what I'm going to be doing is cleaning my sewing room. So I just shut the door. I had most of my house cleaned over Thanksgiving. Of course, it's bombed out. My family, they like to deer hunt, so my son shot a deer. So we've been processing deer meat. My kitchen's in a wreck right now. I've been canning and processing deer meat and just doing different things, just being lazy and just laying around and trying to get to feeling better. So I haven't been doing any sewing this week yet. But I do want to get my sewing room, even if I don't get my kitchen cleaned up today. I want to get my sewing room cleaned up because I've got a lot that I need to be doing. I had a lady that asked me would I make her a quilted tree skirt, and I'm going to be honest with you, it is just not going well. It's not that I'm intimidated by the thoughts of making the tree skirt, but what to make it out of. When you try to sew for other people and you're not really certain of what style that they like and stuff like that, sometimes it puts you in a quandary. And I had started a quilt as you go tree skirt, and I'm not liking it as much as I thought I would. And so yeah, there's that. I need to get that figured out. My Christmas quilt is still here pressed. It was pressed. I'm gonna have to repress it. I've leaned back on it so much. But yeah, I did get one small Christmas project done, and I'll show it to y'all really quick. Let me scoot y'all back just a little bit. This is just a very simple, like the simplest ever throw quilt. And Mary Mabel Market was doing kits the other day. I told y'all that I really like her. And so I cut out some quilt kits. And I put together 3 quilt tops. And I have another one cut out that I haven't sewed together. But it's just the simple strippy quilt pattern with some Christmas fabric. Just very, very simple. I mean, you can throw this together in a couple of hours. This would be great for charity quilts if you needed to do a baby quilt. I got this fabric right here with some Hobby Lobby fabric. All of these are Hobby Lobby fabrics. My daughter had got this fabric for me for Christmas. It was her and my husband, I think. One of them got me that little pattern, and I just threw together this quilt. And I had some gauze, cotton gauze that I got on clearance at Walmart. And so I used that on the back. And I'm really liking it. It's very, very soft. So I haven't washed this quilt yet because we haven't even used it. But it's very, very soft. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a really comfortable throw quilt when it is washed and when it is dried. So yeah, if you need to make some quick quilts if you had like a grandchild or you've got a baby shower or something like that and you just want a really quick quilt, this is the one. I don't know if this isn't as fast as the quickest quilt ever that I made the video on. I don't know that this one isn't just that fast. Yeah, this is one of the fastest quilts I've ever sewed. If you are a seasoned quilter, you could definitely have this quilt cut out, put together, sewn and bound in half a day's time. Easily, easily, easily. I just did straight line quilting on it. I didn't do anything special. I just did straight line quilting right on the outside of the lines. Just followed the lines, quilted it together like that. Yeah. So I did get that little throw quilt done. I might give that to my daughter to take to her. She's got a small, tiny house. So I might give that to her to put in her tiny house. That would be perfect size just for her to throw across the back of the quilt for a little bit of Christmas cheer. So yeah. Okay. On a personal note, yeah. We've been kind of going through it here lately. I know that I've talked a lot about my husband on here and how we've been married for going on, yeah, we've been married 31 years, going on 32 years. And so we just basically found out recently, my husband is a diabetic and has been a diabetic for a lot of years. And so he was having some problems with his eyes and went and got his eyes checked, and they have determined that he has what's called macular edema, diabetic retinopathy, and he's suffering now from macular edema, which is a swelling behind the eyeball. Not only does he have swelling behind his eyeball, he also has leaking fluid caused from diabetic complications. So we weren't really, that was a really unexpected thing that's happened lately, which I don't think you ever get ready for news like that. So yeah, that's kind of taken us by surprise. Really, really been worrying our minds, but we know that God is able. We know that we're in his hands, and that however the situation goes, you know, that the good Lord is going to be with us and he's going to help us through it, and we're going to make it through this. It has got us to thinking, though, a lot about the future and what life would look like if he had to retire off of his job, if my husband had to quit working construction. He's been in the industrial electrician field for a long time, and he actually, you know, is superintendent over the job that he's on right now. But you can't be an industrial electrician if you can't see. So we've been possibly thinking about building, not possibly, we have actually been thinking about building a small house. The place that we live out now is beautiful. I have showed y'all before. You saw the property that we live at, and I've showed it to y'all before, and it's just a beautiful place. This would be my dream. This would have been my dream homestead if we could have got this when we were younger, when our kids were growing up. It would have been amazing. But now that we are getting, and I know that I'm not old. I talk about being old a lot, but I'm kind of an old soul, if you know what I mean. I was born old. Me and my brother both, my oldest brother, he's the same way. We were born old. So we anticipate old age and getting older all the time. Of animals, I would like to have some cows and maybe a few baby goats or things like that. I do have chickens, but yeah, if I could have got this place back then, I think it would have been great. But now that my husband is kind of slowing down a lot because of diabetic complications, and I'm slowing down a lot because of rheumatoid arthritis and stuff like that, we have been seriously contemplating just selling the place that we have and building us a very small house. back at the place my husband was raised. We own just a little spot of land down there. It won't be 5 acres. Which is bad and good. It's a double-edged sword, kind of, because I love this place so much. It's just such a beautiful place. Landscape here is idyllic. It is just beautiful around here. And we got this house at such a great deal. If I was to tell you, you would be shocked. It was just one of those meant to be things that I just feel like the good Lord just let us come here. And we have enjoyed the 5 years that we've been able to be here, and got to do things that I never thought that I would get to do, you know, like own a pond, you know, fish in my own pond and stuff like that. But that time might be drawing to a close, and I'm just trying to think, you know, the thing that I'm beginning to think about a lot now is what my sewing space will look like when I have to move into a really small house. But I want a small house. It's not because I couldn't build it maybe a little bit bigger than we planned. Now, I couldn't build it huge, and we'll be doing this all ourselves. Everything we do. I've done sheetrock. I finished sheetrock. My dad was a sheetrock contractor. That's what he did all of my life. So I'm familiar with sheetrock. My husband is an electrician. We have put down DIY everything from septic tanks to, I mean, we have done it. We do our own plumbing, our own electrical work, our own construction from ground up. We'll be building this house ourselves from the ground up. I mean, from the first block that's laid on the foundation until the last drop of paint goes onto the wall and floor covering goes down. This will be a DIY, do-it-yourself. We don't call other people in to do stuff like that. My husband's blessed to be able to do everything from lay carpet. Oh, he's just awesome. Randy's awesome. Builder, carpenter, electrician. He's not a very good plumber. I pick at him because his plumbing tends to leak. But my son is a good plumber. So I've got an older son, Nathan. And he is actually a really good plumber. So this time around, we're going to go with PEX. So maybe our plumbing will go smoother. And you know what? There's a lot of people that were they in my condition right now would be distraught. You know, they would be very distraught. And I'm not happy about the situation, because I thought when we moved here, I wanted this to be the place that I live the rest of my life. You know, I wanted this to be it. But it might not work out like that. So what do you do when life hands you, you know, those situations where things are not exactly easy? You know, all that we can do is what we can do. We just get up, we put one foot ahead of the other, and we try to look for those things that give us and bring us joy. And one of those things is quilting for me, and it's sewing in my little space. And I'm so glad that I get to share that with y'all. So, yeah. Did I show y'all any of the little casserole mats that I've made? I might have shared these with y'all. If I did, y'all pardon me. I'm going to share them again. These make great little gifts if you need something to give out at Christmas time and you're stretched for time. I just made these out of fat quarters. You could absolutely make these out of scraps. And what this is a casserole. It's a casserole holder. Not a holder, but like a hot pad. A casserole hot pad is what it is. And yeah, there's that one. And you can see that the quilting on it's very simple wavy line that I just quilted on it. This one's actually bound with some green flannel. I've never bound anything with flannel before, but I bound these with green flannel. And that's what it looks like on the back. And here is another one that I made that I really like. This is just some Walmart rooster fabric. And I just done just a cross, like a half cross hatch pattern. And that's the back of that one. And these make really great gifts. And one of the reasons that I was doing these too is just to practice binding. Binding is like a nemesis thing for me with quilting. It's probably one of my least favorite parts of quilting is binding. But I did pretty good on that join right there. I did pretty good. You can see my little join here. So I'm getting better. And this is one way that I practice. This is a great skill builder. You know, if there's something in quilting that you need to learn how to do, that's a great way to do it and make these casserole hot pads. This is to put under a hot dish, like you put it on your countertops and you don't want to scorch your countertop or damage the surface. This is just 2 layers of cotton batting that I've got in here in between, you know, the quilting fabric, and then I bound it. This is also a great way to use up scrap binding. A lot of times you'll have, you know, when you go to make binding, you'll make more of the binding than you realized, and this is a great little project for that. So I'll share that with y'all. I've been making some of those. I've also made a bunch of wristlets. I don't have any handy. That's a great thing that you can make with your scraps that people really like. I gave those out over the holidays, but I made several wristlets. Those go over well with the ladies. I could show you one, but I don't have any handy. But you can just Google and learn how to make the wristlets. Let me turn around and show y'all the back of my sweatshirt. I made me a quilted sweatshirt. Actually, I've made 2 quilted sweatshirts, but this is one of them. And I had just this friendship star block that was left over, and I just put it, can you see? I put it on the back of my sweatshirt. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying that idea. I have bought some shirts that I'm going to try to put a little quilted motif on the front, maybe a heart pattern. And that is a great use for orphan blocks. They're real popular now. Anything quilted is kind of popular right now. But I've got another sweatshirt. I'm looking at it hanging in my closet over there. So I'm going to be making some more of those. Just a really quick make. I made one in a Thanksgiving pattern and color. I can insert a picture of that. Maybe if you see that one that I made, it was just a log cabin block put on the front of a sweatshirt. I might come on here and show y'all how to do that. If y'all are interested, let me know in the comments down below if you would like to know how to make an easy quilted sweatshirt. So that would make a great Christmas gift too. And it's something you can do, like I said, with orphan blocks, or if you do tester blocks. A lot of people do tester blocks. It's just a great thing you can do with that. So yeah, I've talked to y'all. It says I'm at 18 minutes and 47 seconds in. So I'm going to hop off. I'm going to get busy today. I've got so much that I need to be doing. I just want to come in here and clean up my quilting space, but I might do the adult thing and go clean up my kitchen first before I come and clean up my quilting space and get it ready to go again. Yeah. So until next time, this has been me, Melissa, here at Quilting by Heart, and I hope that you've enjoyed my content. I would love to have you as a subscriber here on my channel. I would love to start sharing more tutorials with y'all. I really enjoyed the teaching part of when I was showing my Q-Zone queen frame. I enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the little quilting projects that I've done with y'all. And would y'all like to see us make? Would y'all like to see how I make these? If you would like to make one, I do have a little video called Quilting Cannon Mats, how to make those. So this would be the same thing. You can go and watch that. It's the very same idea, just about it, except with a quilting cannon mat. I think I used the envelope method. Instead of binding it, you can absolutely do that, and it makes these go together even quicker. But I wanted to practice my binding on those. So, yeah. But I'm going to get off, and I'm going to get busy today. I've got a lot that needs to be done. And I hope that y'all are having a Merry Christmas and a great holiday season. And until next time, this has been Melissa here at Quilting by Heart. Like, share, subscribe. As always, you're welcome here. And I'll see you guys and gals later. Bye, y'all. Webster. Webby. Kitty, kitty. What are you doing?